And that was the 61 core.
Yeah.
The fabulous 3Ms.
Joe something.
LaVirgin.
LaVirgin, Tom Radke, Corby Yarwood,
Van Michael.
Michael, Markovich, and Markwinski.
Right.
In fact, I started hanging around the Vanguards in the end of the summer, evidently. And I didn't want to join this corps. I didn't want to do nothing because I knew, number one, I wasn't good enough, and number two, I thought I'd be embarrassed, which was totally ridiculous. And so I did join at the end, 57. My first teacher was Larry Levita from the Vanguards. I learned chops from him. Here's Dick Brown. Oh my. He was my second teacher. I learned music from Brown.
Was Larry still there, Levita?
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
Oh,
good
great
teacher,
guy.
But there was nothing going to happen at that time for me either, as far as no matter what we did in drums, we were never going to go no place in a corps. So I said, if I can make the Cavaliers, that's where I'm going, and that was it.
And marched with the corps, the Vanguards, as he did in 58, 59, and 60. In fact, Ron, you were there in 57, and I remember.
Right, 56 I came in the corps.
Yeah.
So I marched with Tim Cohen Caston.
Marched in the last show in 59, all of 60 and all of 61. Ron's the one guy that lasted through 59, 60, 61. Mitch came on with us the end of 60. We practiced all winter long, and we decided to win it all. So we went for it.
So this
Right,
was 1961?
Yeah, 1961. We had totally undefeated corps, totally undefeated drum line, and I was totally undefeated in individuals. So it was like unbelievable.
Yeah, we got everything that year.
Unbelievable.
61, we took everything.
The 60s were the glory years.
Yeah. The Corps was inducted in the Hall of Fame as the Corps of the 60s.
Yeah, the fabulous 3Ms and Associates.
That was Mitch's idea.
That was his idea.
Right.
That was my idea? Really?
We were cocky, but we weren't that open, brave, or whatever.
And I was fortunate to be able to work with Frank. He leads you in the right direction. He was good. He was happy that I was able to read music, and then Tom came along. He was able to read music. Right. Then he was able to read music. So you had three guys could read music, and he was like terror on wheels now. But no, Frank really worked with us. He really did. And I remember standing in front of the mirror with my little practice drum, going through all the rudiments the way Frank wanted you to do it. Start slow, watch the height, watch the taps. This is too high, this is too low. He was very dedicated.
I had one major turning point for me, and that was my first lesson with Frank. I was Illinois State snare drum champion for 2 years in a row, and I walked into Cavalier Hall. Frank Arsenal got together with me, and one of the first things he said is that you don't know how to hold the sticks.
That's Frank.
And so, and I said, well, part of me said, yeah, right. I've been beating all your students for 2 years, and and the other part said,
what do you mean?
Really? Because you're national champion. And fortunately, the latter took over, and I was real curious, and he showed me some things, and it was phenomenal, the changes that made. And so I spent all that summer totally starting from scratch. And these two guys didn't know it. But to pull back another thread on this thing, when I came into the line, I played low. He played up in the stratosphere, and he played high.
Really?
And
we both played high.
Yeah.
Myself.
And so we came down, or they came down, and I came up, and then that's what we worked on. And but all during the summer, I was working on, you know, doing things different and playing higher, and that was all that because of the lesson with Arsenal and all the things that I did during that summer. That's why I became national champion that year. And when they saw me at individuals playing, they said, "We didn't know you could play like that. How come you didn't tell us?" You know. And,
That's right. That was in Miami.
and I said, "Well, of course I can play like that." You know. And I thought, how come they don't know? You know. And so from that point on, we went through the rest of the season playing really high.
Wow. Yeah.
Really high.
Yeah.
But I do have to say this one thing. When you talk about playing high, and when you talk about playing with beauty, that's what I remember, this guy. Wow. Just poetry in motion, just beautiful. So high, I mean, you wonder if he'd ever come down in between notes, you know?
Yeah.
And just flow. And that image, that's somehow, that's in my mind, and I remember it to this day.
Yeah.
In through the 60s were the heydays.
Yeah, that was unbeatable.
It was no different than that of a ball team. We seemed to have gotten better and better as each contest went along. And of course, more and more pride and confidence with being undefeated kept growing.
As a result of that, I ended up majoring in music at Indiana University, the American Conservatory of Music in Chicago, and I'm still teaching drums and writing and arranging and doing different things. Here we went over to Brown's house when I was in the Vanguards, and he says, "Hey, we entered you in an individual snare drum contest." What? So I said, well, all right, what do I have to do? And he said, you got to run down a double stroke roll. I said, oh, okay, I could do that. Then he said, you have to run down a flying paradiddle. Well, yeah, okay, I can handle it. That's all right. He says, then you have to write you have to have a solo, a 3-minute solo. And I said, okay, who's going to write my solo? You are. Ah, now I'm panicking again. When I entered individual competition, everybody was kind of doing this kind of thing. And variation upon variation and whatever, you know, typical stuff. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to knock the judge's socks off. So this is the beginning. And after the fast beginning part, to knock his socks off, and I thought, okay, now I'm going to go into something traditional to let you know I'm there with all the other guys, too. I can do the traditional approach. So that's what comes next. So I'll play that much. So that's the beginning. So this is the next section. And like I said, I'd never seen anybody do this. And like the paradiddles, I'd maybe seen some people try to do 32nd note paradiddles soft. But I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do them just the way you did normal paradiddles. So I don't know if I can do that today. We'll see. Next section was Swiss triplets. Thought I'd throw something in that we kind of had fun with, but I don't know if anybody was doing it much. So I made up this section that was all Swiss triplets, and then it just goes on to some other things. So.
All right.
I'm taking a rest.
Yeah.
Back then, that was really something. Now it's just like 3 cams.